I'm talking fast-paced action. I'm talking lights, camera, action. You better be about that action, cause ain't no need for no act. Talking hits so hard they breaking backs. Yeah, I ain't with all the chitter chatter, only talking
Welcome, ladies and
facts.
gentlemen, to another edition of NAL Gameday. I'm Jim Renee. Week 7 is here, ladies and gentlemen. We got some big-time matchups, postseason implications involved in here, because once we pass that halfway point, we got to start looking at the standings in the bracket. Week 7 is here in the National Arena League. You can watch all of it on the NAL Network, including the Scripps Sports Network tonight, where Scripps Sports Network's game of the week is the Omaha Beef taking on the Colorado Spartans in Denver. And speaking of that matchup, we have Coach Loftis and on the show later in the episode to discuss that game and this pivotal points of the season. Spartans 2-3, Omaha 0-4, battling for postseason implications. A lot of drama, a lot of storylines to get over as we get closer to kickoff tonight in the National Arena League. But before we get going on today's episode, we have to thank our sponsors, Black Rifle Coffee, First Form Energy, Hard AF Seltzer, MyBookie, and SNHU. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, you can follow all information in the National Arena League on social media at NAL Football, including on Facebook at Facebook. Search the National Arena League should pop up. Also, remember to subscribe to the NAL Network for all the games that will be playing tonight and for the remaining of the season. That's NAL-network.com. And of course, you can tune into Scripps Sports Network for the live game tonight against Colorado and the Omaha Beef. And you might see some other games pop up, especially from previous action for the past couple of weeks in the NAL. That's Scripps Sports Network, and that's available on many platforms, and it's continuing to grow. But speaking about previous games, you can catch some highlights, especially from week 6, because, we didn't do it inside the walls this week because of a hectic schedule throughout the league. So here is recap from NAL 5 for week 6.
This is Braden Butler for the National Arena League, welcoming you to NAL in 5, your weekly recap of the wall-to-wall action of the National Arena League. We start things off in Pueblo, Colorado, as the Punishers host the Rougarou. It's Kentwan Brown for the first time today, taking the opening kick to the house. Great stutter step there at about the 15. 47-yard kick return for touchdown, his first, as the Punishers lead 6-0. Larry Moten at quarterback for the Rougarou, able to go designed off the right side for 6, the first score of the day for Louisiana. It's Brown back again on the kick return. He does it again, this time down the right sideline, in for 6. His second kick return for a touchdown. The Rougarou trying to answer. It's Taz Wilson over the middle. Rashad Ridley in the end zone for 6. Cuts it to a 5-point game, but you have to kick it back off to Kentwan Brown, and that is dangerous. Coast to coast, pillar to post. Kentwan Brown into the end zone. His third kick return touchdown of the game. After a Louisiana field goal, why not go 4 for 4? Wendy's isn't involved, though, as Kentwan Brown into the end zone again. 4 kick return touchdowns for Brown, 230 return yards, 46 yards per return. Taz Wilson for the Rougarou, 229 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. Pueblo improves to 5-1. Louisiana falls to 1-3 with the loss. We'll stay in the state of Colorado for our next game, but move over to Denver as the Colorado Spartans are hosting the Amarillo Warbirds. Scoring got started early. Javin Kilgo at quarterback. Injury to Paxton Lynch took him out for the season, but Kilgo finds Bazette Woodley for the opening touchdown. It's a battle for the ball, but Woodley wins that battle to put the Spartans up 6-0. Later on, Colorado up 26-3. A pitch out to Alexis Rosario runs off the left side. He's in for the 4-yard score. 32-3 lead for Colorado. Demry Croft, similar to a play he had last week, scrambles away from everybody down the left sideline. A 39-yard touchdown run to make it 32-11 after a 2-point conversion. Trick play here for Colorado. The pitch to Rosario, the throw downfield. It's Bazette Woodley on the other end of it for your score. 44-11, the Spartans lead. A defensive highlight to round things out for Colorado. Interception, the second one of the day for Dylan Thomas, but this one is going to be a house call. We'll be seeing ya, says Dylan Thomas. 42 yards on the score. Colorado wins 50-11. Bazette Woodley, 4 catches for 3 touchdowns in this one. Dylan Thomas, 2 interceptions, 1 return for a score. Colorado improves to 2-3, while Amarillo falls to 1-4. Our final game of Week 6 takes us to Dodge City, Kansas, as the Sioux City Bandits were on the road against the Southwest Kansas Storm. The Storm leads 7-6 in the first half when Matt Struck out of the shotgun takes the high snap, looks over the middle of the field, batted ball perfectly into the hands of Mason Pierce. 31-yard touchdown pitch and catch, albeit a little unorthodox from the Storm. They lead 14-6, but Jeff Mack would change that quick, fast, and in a hurry. One man to beating the kicker, gets by him. See you later. Jeff Mack puts the Bandits back on the board with a kick return for a touchdown. First play of the second half as we jump ahead to the third quarter. Southwest Kansas leads by 1, but Lorenzo Brown off play action will find Damon Powell, a 24-yard touchdown catch for the former Iowa Hawkeye, and some polarizing dance moves, to say the least, in the celebration. 35-21, Storm down 2 scores. Gotta have this one from the goal line, and Matt Struck powers his way in for 6. One of 2 big touchdown runs here late for Struck, burying the lead a little bit. The Bandits, at this point, led 35-27. For our final play of our highlights, it's the 38-35 game. Demarius Washington, a 43-yard catch, set up this touchdown run, the game winner for Matt Struck. The game-tying field goal from Sioux City is no good as time expires. Southwest Kansas wins 41-38. Struck 303 yards passing and 4 total touchdowns. Damon Powell for the Bandits, 8 catches for 90 yards and 2 scores. The Storm improved to 4-0 while the Bandits fall to 2-2. That wraps up this week's edition of NAL in 5. I've been Braden Butler.
It was full of all the action-packed, some highlights, some interesting. What an effort in Pueblo. 4 kick returns by Kentro Brown. Are you kidding me? Like, how's that not in the ESPN highlights? Like, 4 of them? That's impressive. And, of course, talking about impressive, here are these week's players of the week for the National Arena League. Like I said, I mentioned that certain kick returner in Pueblo, he got the special teams player work. Of course, Dylan Thomas, running back, who had a big game last week as well for the Colorado Spartans. And Demarius Washington is the go-to guy in Southwest Kansas. He led the Storm over their victorious effort as well this past week in the NAL in Week 6 action. But speaking about the Week 6 action, here is the current standings in the National Arena League. Sitting up top of the first place is the Southwest Kansas Storm, sitting there at 4-0, followed by the Salina Liberty at 3-0, Pueblo there at 5-1, Sioux City at 2-2, Colorado there at 2-3, Dallas at 6 at 1-2, followed by Louisiana Rubru at 1-3, Amarillo Warbirds at 1-4, and the Omaha Beef at 0-4. And here is the current field. The playoffs started today. We are past halfway point of the season, so the playoffs started today, ladies and gentlemen. You will get Dallas and Pueblo in the first round matchup. Also, Colorado and Sioux City in the first round matchup, with Salina and Southwest Kansas having the opening round bye. That is the current field in the 2026 postseason at the halfway point. Some critical games. And speaking about critical games, ladies and gentlemen, Week 7 is here. There are matchups that are pivotal for postseason implications, even though we're the halfway point. I know there's still a lot of football left for a lot of these teams, but Week 7 is going to be crucial. Some crucial matchups. Southwest Kansas and Amarillo. Does Amarillo, they're right there. They're currently in the standings. They're only a half a game behind Dallas. A win over Southwest Kansas and some help gets them back into the fold. That game kicks off at 6:30 Central. The Southwest stay at the top of the NAL. Currently, they're 4-0. They're traveling to an Amarillo who is looking to get back on track after their last couple of defeats of the season, so they're looking to get back on track as well. But speaking about another team that's trying to get back on track, we head to Louisiana, where the Rubru will host the Dallas Bulls at 7:05 Central. Dallas, right there in the field right now. Louisiana, they're only a half game behind. So the pivotal matchup, the battle of the 6th seed right there early in the showdown, especially with so many key games this week, and also a big key game in Sioux City. The Salina Liberty travel to the Sioux City Bandits, 7:10 Central kickoff time. If you look, remember playoff implications there, ladies and gentlemen. Salina, Sioux City, it's 2-4 matchup right there. The Sioux City, of course, Sioux City is currently a game behind, based on percentages, or a game behind Salina, but not the win total. A win for Sioux City would be pivotal to get them back in the picture of things. But Salina with the win and some help, they're back in first place in the National Arena League entering Week 8, which will be next week. And of course, the game of the week, ladies and gentlemen, is in Colorado, Denver Coliseum, where the 2-3 Colorado Spartans take on none other than the Omaha Beef in a very unique matchup. These two teams have faced each other over the last couple of seasons, and they've been showdowns. If you've been watching the NAL over the last 2 years, both games have been competitive. Not both. Almost every game has been competitive. Postseason matchups were competitive, came down to the last drives, and both outcomes, the previous two outcomes between these two teams. We got certain familiar faces, but different places. A new coach in Loftis, who's been with the organization for a long time, getting into the fold, getting into the mix. And you got Shaw getting into the Spartans back on track after, going on the road and having some dog fights with both Salina and Southwest Kansas. He gets a chance to get back on the fold and get what we like to call a winning streak involved in the NAL with the game against the Omaha Beef. Shaw, of course, is a tenured coach, and the win there gets him back to 3-3, which would be 500 with 4 games remaining in their season. It's gonna be pretty unique. Actually, it's not really unique. It's pivotal, especially for them. They are currently above that line of that postseason line, but it's gonna be unique. A lot of these games that we're going to start seeing, ladies and gentlemen, over the next couple of weeks, even though you look at the records like, well, they have 10 or 15 more games. No, we have a 10-game season. So 3-3 means you have 4 games to stay in the top 6. For Omaha, they're 0-4. They got 6 games remaining to try and get back into that top 6. Pivotal matchups. A lot of it. I know it's week 7, but for the fans out there, our final week of our regular season is week 13. We're past the halfway point. Wednesday is basically the halfway point of our season. So we're going to have big time matchups. And all these games have implications in them. A lot of them. And of course, we have a certain team that's outside having a bye week, enjoying their 5-1 start. They got 4 games remaining this year, but 5-1. They're in the fold. They're in the top half. They're just chilling for right now. And that's the Pueblo Punishers. But when we look back at the previous couple of weeks of the season, you're starting to see who is top heavy. Really no matchups this week that will justify the top heaviness of a league. Southwest is playing Amarillo, Sioux City, and Salina probably because that's a top tier in the league. But all these games have somewhat. It's still too early, yes. I know I'm going to get people say it's still too early. I do understand, still too early. But we have less than 7 weeks left in the season. It's going to be unique in the blink of an eye, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be talking about pivotal matchups that are do or die situations. That's a good thing about the NAL and the 10-week season. We're halfway through, ladies and gentlemen. Big matchups again. Let's go back over those matchups as we go. Kickoff starts at 6:30 Central here on the NAL Network, where the Southwest Kansas Storm traveling to the Amarillo Warbirds, followed by Dallas traveling to Louisiana at 7:05 Central. Salina at Sioux City, 7:10 Central. And then after this break, ladies and gentlemen, I had the opportunity to sit down and discuss a few things about Omaha, especially over the last couple of weeks since the transition to Loftis as the interim head coach of the Omaha Beef. Coming up next after this break, ladies and gentlemen, is the head coach of the Omaha Beef at Loftis.
We are gold for energy! Send it!
Incoming!
Put the money in the bag, man!
As I said, your paycheck is your thank you.
What's going on back there? This is awesome! Welcome to Earth! No, who's flying the plane? Get cockpit, go! God!
Black Rifle Energy, dropping near you.
While the world still sleeps, we rise. When others find excuses, we find strength. This is where the work begins. Late nights, early mornings. This is who we are. Discipline is our lifestyle. We push through the sweat, the pain, and the doubts. When the road gets tough, we get tougher. We don't settle for average because we're not average. We aim higher, hit harder, and dig deeper. Each day, we work to be better than the last. Success isn't handed to us, it's earned. Because in the end, we're the ones who rise, the ones who conquer, the ones who win.
We are now joined by interim head coach of the Omaha Beef, actually a recurring character. This is a multiple time on the show, but a different title as Coach Loftis joins us for his game this evening in Colorado against the Spartans. Coach, welcome to the program.
Thanks. Good to be here.
Well, I know a lot of the fans of Omaha know who you are because you've been a part of the organization for many years. So you've been around that arena and you know the organization, you know the standard of what Omaha is. But this is now a entrance to another level. You have previous experience in this, but you're now taking it over the organization. You have 6 games to coach under you for the 2026 season. You're only currently right now a game and a half out of the 6th spot, so there's still a lot to play. What is the transition been since the coaching switch and you becoming the interim?
Uh, just being a lot more involved than I normally am. Normally, I stick more to the defense and stuff like that, but a lot more involved this week in more of the day-to-day things. The coaches show that we do on Monday, and then have to dip my hand a little more into the offensive side of the ball, which I haven't had to do that much in the past.
Yeah, you've always been on the defensive side of the ball. I remember we did an episode, I think last year, between I think it was the game that the rivalry week, and we got you and Coach Lowe of Sioux City, and it was just defense versus defense conversation. And now that you're here back now and leading Omaha, is it weird going on the other side of the ball and do a couple, well, do schemes, or you still prefer being the defensive minded type of coach?
I prefer defense, but I've been offensive coordinator and stuff at some high schools, and then whenever you're coaching defense, you're looking at where your weak spots are, where teams can hurt you. So if a team likes to play, man to man, you're gonna have to have some man to man beaters. If they're gonna play cover two, you need to know where you're weak and stuff. So that um, mindset of like, hey, I know this hurts us or puts us in a bind, so you might want to look at putting, some of that scheme in there to kind of put the stress on the other defense as well.
Well, it's kind of football is unique sometimes. It comes down to not if you have the better players, it's also come down to scheme wise. And you've mentioned about the scheme differences, and especially from the college or high school game into the indoor game. But you've been a part of this organization, especially for this year. Very unfamiliar territory for the Beef right now, starting the season 0-4. Um, what has it been like behind the scenes, especially for a Beef organization that is hold a standard of winning and winning big?
So back in, let's see, I came back to the Beef in 2019. We lost, I think, to Salina in the playoffs that year. Then 2020, that was just a wash of a year. 2021, we started, it was either 0-2, 0-3, wasn't good. And then, just have to refocus. We had a vision for Coach Jones was our head coach at that time. We had a vision for what we wanted to do, and it's stay the course, clean up your stuff, handle one game at a time. You can't win the whole season, right away. You got to take it one game at a time. And then same thing, you can't win a whole game all at once. You got to take it one play at a time. You can't play the whole game all at once and then know the outcome. So there's ebbs and flows, there's momentum and stuff. So it's just getting back to the focus of winning each play, stack up those plays, and then if you've won more plays than the other team, you're gonna win. But that 2021 year, yeah, we started. It was like 1-2, 0-3, and then we ended up making a run and making the playoffs. Once you're in the playoffs, it's all clean slate for everybody. And then we ended up winning the championship that year. And there's a couple guys on the team from that championship team and stuff. So we went. Then same thing in 22. We had some losses here and there. It wasn't the dominant team that we had in 23 where we just ran the table on everybody. But it's losses are part of the game. Like our owner Ricky says, he goes, if you don't like the odds, don't play the game. Every time you step on the field, there is a chance to lose. So, like I said, though, it's got to be focused up, one play at a time. You can't win the whole game at once.
Only if there was an easy button you could do so. You'd be like, oh, okay, we'll just win the game. Click the button and boom, it's over. You
Oh yeah.
don't have to worry
Well,
about.
and I think that just kind of some of our guys kind of lost focus. That they were so used to winning, they didn't think that losing was like even possible. But now that it's happened a couple times, it's like, guys, nothing's given in this league, nothing's given in this sport. You got to take everything and go take it and go earn those chances and earn those games.
Well, that's adversity. Well, you can say it's adversity. It's because different teams deal with it with different ways. Omaha may deal with something different than what Amarillo or other organizations do in the past. But everyone, when they we see on social media, we see it with the fans. When Omaha's on the schedule, it seems like every team plays their A game because Omaha has a reputation of that has to be the team to beat. If you beat Omaha, you belong in the league or you belong in the sport. That's based on the history of the organization over the years, and that comes from winning. And this year, unfortunately, you guys are 0-4, but it came off a bye week. You become from defense side ball, not taking the helm of this. Speak English, taking the helm of the organization, and now you're getting ready for your first game this season as a coach against a organization in Colorado who kind of gone through the similar situations where they were, favored to be, one of the top teams, and they stumbled on the way. Now they're home. They play against you guys. A little bit of a quarterback situations with Paxson going down and bringing in Javin Kilgo. What does this Colorado Spartan team bring to the table that you, as a interim now for Omaha, can exploit and attack an organization that is also going through you can almost say a minor transition, especially with the new quarterback at helm there in Colorado.
So adversity does one of two things. It either brings everyone together, and kind of galvanizes you, or it can kind of create some division and some fissures and stuff, which can kind of split the team apart. Colorado's always played us tough. It's going to be a tough matchup. They got great skill players. So not to take anything away from him, replacing a quarterback, and Kilgo's got experience, so it's not like they're putting in a rookie, and he's got weapons around him. So we just got to make sure we do our responsibilities, and we play well on defense, and then offense we got to make sure, take care of the ball. That's the big one, and then not. I mean, time of possession this year's been a bit of an issue. We've been on the field a lot defensively, so if we could kind of switch that time of possession a little bit, keep the offense on the field a little bit longer and get some more points, I think we'll be all right. But like I said, they're a great organization. I expect to get their best shot, like you said. We seem to get everybody's best shot, and that's fine. That's part of the game. If you have success, then everyone wants to beat you up. But yeah, it's going to be a challenge, but I think we've came together a lot during the bye week, and then this week of practice we had a lot more energy, more intensity, a lot of guys stepping up, some in some new roles and stuff. We're asking them to do a couple different things, and they're all about it. They're ready to go.
So what you've been you mentioned earlier, you've been with the organization since 19, but this is you taking control of your second time around. What is the vision for your version of the Omaha Beef?
Just I want to be a little more physical, and a little more even keel. I don't want to have I mean, I know there's ups and downs to the game, but I want to make sure, like, once things start to trend down, we get back together. And like you said, that adversity and stuff, don't let that snowball effect start rolling where, one thing goes bad, then it's two, then it's three, then it's four, and then the game gets out of hand. So basically stop that snowball effect and just be more physical all around.
Well, tonight the game kicks off at 7 o'clock Mountain Time, 8 o'clock Central, and I guarantee a lot of the fans in Omaha, some may have made the trip to Denver. You look at this game, and it's different storylines. People will look at the record and look at the standings and see where Omaha is, and they'll look at Colorado. But people don't realize that the series between Colorado and Omaha over the last 3 years have had some epic matchups. Last plays, goal line stands, interceptions in the end, playoff matchup last year. do you expect the same from that game series against the Spartans? Is that Coach Shaw thing, you think? Why, how they always play you toe to toe no matter what year it is?
Oh yeah. I mean, Coach Shaw's got an edge to him, and he always gets his guys ready to go. The last two times for sure we played him. The first we were here, in the last regular season game, and that one had the playoff who's going to get home field advantage, which came down to, I think we kicked a deuce to go up 1 or 2. I think we only won by 1 or 2 points, but we kicked a deuce to like go up, and then they had a chance at a field goal at the end and they missed. And then the very next week, just shoot out back to back games. We got their best shot the first round of the playoffs back in Omaha at the Slaughterhouse, and we ended up getting, I think we had Tommy, but we had Tommy told us basically, he goes, you give me 1-2 stops, we're going to be good. And I think we got an interception. I think we got a turnover on downs. Tommy just basically said like, thank you. And then like went, and then we finally, opened up a 2-score lead.
Well, Coach, I know you guys got to get ready. This is your first time on the road as a head guy, so you got a lot of things behind the scenes to work before the game tonight that kicks off. Again, I appreciate you joining the show. Looking forward to your coaching performance tonight, and hopefully you guys get to play well and get back on the win column, especially for the Omaha faithful who will be watching tonight's game.
Yes, sir. Time to start turning this thing around.
Appreciate it, Coach. Expectations, the standard, whatever it is, that is Omaha. Omaha is like that. Every game is a different pedestal. They are a target to everybody. They are a brand that everybody wants to beat. Sometimes outcomes don't go their way, but the matchup that is pivotal. Coach Loftis is a type of coach I think is going to exceed them, push them to the right direction, and get back to Omaha football. Really looking forward to the matchup. But Omaha, Colorado, you got to enjoy this type of matchup. Big-time matchups in Week 7. Let's recap quickly. Week 7 matchups of the NAL. Kicks off at 6:30 Central. Southwest traveling to Amarillo, followed by Dallas traveling to Louisiana at 7 to 5 Central. Salina traveling to Sioux City to take on the Sioux City Bandits at 7:10 Central. And, of course, the game of the week, Omaha, Colorado, 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Mountain on the Scripps Sports Network. Epic matchup. And I can't wait to get this week going. This has been the preview, ladies and gentlemen, of week 7 of the NAL. But before we get going and get you out of here, remember, we have to thank our sponsors who have covered the NAL for the 2026 season. Black Rifle Coffee, First Forum Energy, Hard AF Seltzer, MyBookie, and SNHU. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, follow everything NAL related at NAL-network.com. Also, follow the NAL at thenationalarenaleague.com and all of his social media platforms at NAL Football for more information of the National Arena League. I am Jim Renee. This has been Inside the Walls / NAL Game Day for the 2026 season. Thank you for tuning in for tonight's episode. Get ready for an epic Week 7 in the National Arena League. We'll get back right in the mix of NAL football and Inside the Walls podcast next week. As more interviews, more highlights, and more hype. We'll see you guys next week and enjoy Week 7 of the National Arena League.
Lights, camera, action. You better be about that action, cause ain't no need for no act. Talking hit so hard they breaking backs. Yeah, I ain't with all the chitter chatter, only talking facts. It's the NAL, we be playing indoors, no outdoors, and it ain't on the ground. It's the NAL, it's the NAL, it's the NAL, it's the NAL. Ooh!